welcome to the Rooney Library webinar for the Division of Nursing Sciences and Education resources, and I am Anna Scatoni. So let's go over our agenda for today. So we will talk about, does this apply to me, what we offer, then how to contact me, the next webinar I briefly mentioned already, and there'll be a time for Q&A. So we have 4 different departments that fall under my purview here, and I've listed them here alphabetically. So the Division of Nursing and Sciences in the Department of Education. So that includes that one right off the bat, and then the Department of Equine Studies, the Department of Nursing, of course, and then the Department of Science and Mathematics. So any course that you might be taking in any of these fields, please reach out to me with any questions. I will be a great first line to ask. More specifically, in the Department of Education, there are 3 different undergraduate majors available. So Bachelor's of Science in grades preschool to 3rd, kindergarten to 6th, and then special ed for pre-K through 12th grade. I also used to be a K through 12 teacher myself, so that is, the Department of Education is the area of all the 3 that I have the most experience with. And then additional programs and licensures, very helpful for the teaching field, of course. And so there's a minor in educational pedagogy, 4 different licensure programs for transitioning to teaching if that is not an undergrad that you have, and then 10 different add-on licensures, which of course as a teacher can help you be more marketable in the field and move up to being maybe an intervention specialist or a lead teacher for a team. Really helpful things. I really enjoy that field. So anyone looking into any of that, please reach out. Then the most unique department, I would say, on campus is the Department of Equine Studies. So there are 4 full degree programs: the Bachelor of Science in Equine Studies, Bachelor of Science in Equine with a pre-vet concentration. You can get an associate in equine racetrack management, a Master of Science in Equine Science. So, and then the 4 different minors listed on the right with more specific equine therapy and riding, breeding management. These are very interesting and, like I said, unique. So, but we do have LibGuides for the Equine Studies Department. Moving on to the Department of Nursing. I work with a lot of nursing faculty, probably most frequently because of the depth, and that we offer a Master's of Science in Nursing as well as a Postmaster's Family Nurse Practitioner certificate. So we have the most graduate programs in this division through the Department of Nursing. But of course, we also offer the BSN, and then another unique offering is our Paramedic Science to BSN degree, which is a great, another program where you can, of course, expand your knowledge and move up in your career within the same field. So great things in the Department of Nursing. And then last but not least, the Department of Sciences and Mathematics. So biology, a minor in chemistry, degree in computer science, kinesiology. We offer an associate's degree in myoskeletal massage therapy, another unique one, as well as math, an engineering dual degree, a nutrition minor, and a sport coaching minor at this time. So now that we have gone through all of the different departments, majors, minors, so any class falling within any of those, please reach out to me first when you are embarking on a research project and you're not sure where to begin. Any class, You do not have to be majoring in these subjects or even minoring if you're just taking a general education class. I know often a tough thing about college is having to fulfill a general education class in a subject that is actually almost the opposite of your major and your personal field of interest, because you might have very little context and background to go with. So I would um, encourage you to reach out even if that's the case for you, even if you're doing an elective or just trying to branch out and see what might be there for you in that subject. So, getting specifically into the library resources and services. So, um, we have many databases available through the Rooney Library for all on campus. And this link here to smwc.libguides.com/A to Z databases is where we will go first. And let me go over to that tab. So here we are on A to Z databases. We get to that by, let me see. So just to go over quickly, if you're on the college main page, smwc.edu, like we are here, if you do offices and resources, and then choose Rooney Library. So they're alphabetical, and the name of the library is Rooney Library. So if I click Rooney Library, it will bring me to the library main page. It's a good idea, Keela mentioned this in the October webinar, to bookmark this page for your easy reference in the future. And then we're focusing mostly today on these top two quick links sections, databases first, and then we'll get into some library guides in a second here. I'll also show you a little bit about Wood Scholars, but let's start with the databases and go back to this A to Z databases tab. So you might see that I already picked kinesiology and exercise science here as an example on this tab. And we have 25 different databases that pertain to this subject area, or this two closely related subject areas. So what is very nice about our meta searching here is that it's going to categorize, you can see best bets. So it's going to give you the databases that most pertain to your subjects. And the way that I did that, you can see at the top here, I just have picked kinesiology and exercise science from this long list. Then I can also switch the type of, if I know I specifically need articles, that happens a lot, I can say just articles. So let's see what we get here. So it's still going to give me best bets, which is great. And I have very similar ones: Medline Complete, PubMed. You'll also notice on the right featured databases, which will always be there as a good thing to reference. You'll see CINAHL Ultimate is over here in the most frequently used featured databases. That's another medical nursing related database. So A to Z databases, if I were to take off the subjects and take off the type by just clicking again, I can do another search. And now I see that I have 120 across the college from A to Z. So that's why I would definitely suggest, like, now I can do biology and search again. So it's going to tell me the best bet for biology in general is Taylor and Francis online. An important thing to note with when searching in the databases. So databases, think of like a very academic version of Google, and we pay for them through the college, through the library, right? So it's not free. And if it has this green icon with the lock on it, that means, as you can see, my little pop-up says requires SMWC credentials. So you have to prove that you are actually a student or faculty to get the full access to our databases. But that is because this the journals and the articles that appear in our databases are peer reviewed and quality, right? So we are we're getting good stuff. Although, and I will note that PubMed, if it does have an orange open situation, there are open access journals as well. PubMed is open. So that is another option that scholars can take, is to provide open access, which is wonderful. But it's still much better and faster to go through the library links and the A to Z databases than just going to Google. Let's see. So that is the A to Z databases with an example of kinesiology. Let's go to research guides. So if I go back to the Rooney Library main page and I click library guides instead of databases, you'll notice I'm looking at all guides right here. So if I click by subject, now I'm looking at 42 different subject guides. And then you'll notice across from the title at the end of this little gray rectangle is how many guides within that there are. I will note for everyone. So nursing and health, like I mentioned, a very common one. So it's categorized art therapy in here with us, but we have in healthcare administration, which is actually a leadership division, but nursing research guide in here. And so these are our guides by subject. Let's look at environmental science, because that one is not quite as common, but it is here. So environmental science, this is what a course research guide, I'm sorry, not a course guide, a subject guide will look like. So your tabs for the different things within the guide are over on the left-hand side. So we have the introduction, then we have choosing databases, and it will, let's say you didn't like the A to Z databases that we just looked at. If you know your specific subject area, you can find the subject guide and the libguide for that subject area, and then you can get to the database from within the guide. And we have green file comes up. Now, if you know that you need a book or an ebook for the project you're working on, there's also the tab for finding books and ebooks. Then for every guide, there will also be the citation help. So this, of course, will be for APA style guide because that is what's needed. However, if we were in English and we were doing MLA, that would be what would be linked there. So that's nice. And then library help. If you click the library help, if you say, okay, I tried that first database and it still was not great for me, then, and if you've forgotten how to email me or anything, you can find me here and click the email me right there. Let's see. So for each different course, like if we were in business and leadership, it would be a photo of Brian there. If you were in arts and social sciences, it would be a photo of Keela there, your specific librarian for your subject. So that would be a subject guide. Specifically, course guides we also have. So research guidance for specific classes. So if a course is either very commonly taken or very specific and research heavy, then professors sometimes reach out to us librarians, or we will collaborate and we will make a specific guide for a specific class. So within my division, the class that matches the most is nursing 526, which is the a graduate nursing class. So if I go back to, if I use the breadcrumbs up here and I go back to the all guides, and if I click by, here we go. If I click all guides, it's showing 60 guides. And if I'm scrolling down and I can see, look, there's a specific course code. So that's a business course guide, a couple of those, communication course guide, English, literature, French. But I'm going to nursing for our division. So here we are, nursing 526, research for evidence-based practice. So nursing and course guides have a few more tabs you'll see over here on the left. So it's going to tell you the course description in the introduction right off the bat. I have this one set up to where my photo and email link will be present on the bottom left on every tab. What's really helpful about course guides is that it has choose databases as this this guide to click through. So if you're, it'll show you specifically where to go with all of these to find the best results. Then I have a whole category for Medline. We have web resources, ebooks like before, for complete a search. So there's also a tutorial on completing a quick search, and then a specific tutorial on the CINAHL Ultimate database. So I mentioned briefly earlier that CINAHL here is a premier database for nursing courses. So we have a specific tutorial for how to find the best articles and predominantly evidence-based practice studies within CINAHL. Very important and helpful to the nursing graduate students. There's also a guide for, or a tab called Evaluate Your Sources on all the course guides that remind you to check the currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, and purpose, and how to do that for all of the sources that you are referencing and researching with before completely, going along with including it in your personal academic work. And then, of course, the citation guide. So this is the Nursing 526 Evidence-Based Practice Nursing Research Guide. Let's go back to our PowerPoint here. Okay, before we do citation and reference, I want to also show everyone that we have certain library guides for certain courses if they, in subjects, if they require certification. So let's look at the education research guide really quickly here. So if becoming a professional in the field that you're in a class for or majoring in requires not just the bachelor's degree or master's degree, but also a separate certification with maybe passing a test or completing a certain amount of hours interning in the field. And then there will be certification and further information about that on the LibGuide that we've made for that subject. So within the education one, of course, that's the case. And then we have an asterisk there for different states requiring licensure in different ways, right? And then per K6, middle school, high school. And then it's going to link to the Bureau of Labor Statistics to tell you about actually what the expectations for working in that field are actually like. So that's a good kind of like transitional piece from taking it from the classroom to your career. So citation and reference guides. So we looked really quickly at the APA citation guide. So that will be linked. All of the Division of Nursing and Sciences and Department of Education courses are citing in APA style. So the APA style guide will be linked on every research guide and course guide within the library site for all of the courses in under this purview. And you can click the student guide there. But if you have a large project or you're trying to see how you've built your body of work and your collection of sources over multiple semesters or multiple courses, then we recommend this Zotero option. So it's its own LibGuide for Zotero. I'm going to show you it right here. So as you can see on the introduction portion, Zotero is an organization application and citation tool to help you keep all of your citations organized and make sure you're not accidentally collecting too many of too similar sources. And you can follow through this LibGuide to register and save your citations. Highly recommend it. And then I'm going to show you the bottom of the Zotero guide. It says need help, and then it has videos for how to use Zotero. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll see Keela's photo and her email link. Keela is the main library expert on how Zotero works. So highly recommend using this. So as you can see, it's a LibGuide, a style guide, and then Zotero, the link there. All right. Briefly, I will show you Woods Scholars. So for our graduate students, particularly the nursing students, smwc.haikucommons.org. Here's what it looks like. This is where we keep it's the repository for graduate theses, and you'll see Department of Nursing posters here. So this is great to know that we, one, are keeping these for everyone, and if you want to see what maybe the expectation from your professor or your department has been in the past and how you could build off of that. Great place to go. The Haiku Commons for the Woods Scholars. And then as well, we have Lib Answers, and that is where we recommend people go for if they need any help. And you'll always see our little chat bot pop up and offer to chat with you. But for our division, the FAQs are predominantly with EBSCO troubleshooting that happens every now and then. And then, let's see. Here's what it looks like. So Rooney Library Lib Answers, the FAQs with the answers there. Finally, library resources and services. Research appointments are available in person with our library director, Dr. Tryon, or online with any of the 3 of our division research librarians. And you can make an appointment with us through this link, which will bring you here to make an appointment. So, as noted, if you do in person, it's only going to show you Dr. Tryon's availability. But if you click online, then you will see all your different options here. And you can click me if it's for our division specific course. But of course, email me anytime that you have a question. And then maybe we can set up a time even outside of these hours if that we could still Zoom or Teams for further assistance that I could provide you. So, how to do that? Like I just said, if you need any further assistance, please connect with me through email, and I am more than happy to help you with any project for any course. No question is too small. And then, as noted at the beginning of the webinar, coming up in December, the Library Resources and Services for Business and Leadership will be led by Brian Wright. And we have just over a minute remaining here for a Q&A. I know that was a lot of information very quickly. Thank you for watching.